Snoop Dogg eliminates the voice contestant who performed one of the hardest songs you could ever give somebody to sing. I'm trying to hold back the tears because you set yourself up for stardom, and I'm honored to have been your coach, the rapper said following her performance during the Monday, November 25 episode of the NBC singing competition show. Aaliyah Kalen wowed the judges with her performance of Whitney Houston's 1992 hit, I Have Nothing. Kalen, 23, said that her mom and siblings used to listen and dance to the late singer growing up, making the performance even more meaningful to her. Snoop, 53, praised the Philadelphia native, saying she worked on one of the hardest songs that you could ever give somebody to sing on this show. Other coaches were also in shock. Gwen Stefani said, I'm in shock right now as Kalen wrapped up her song. If you don't have music out soon, I'm gonna cry, because I love your voice, Reba McEntire told her. You're so good. I saw greatness. I believe Simone Biles, guest mentor, gave you some information about standing in your own power. You stood in your power tonight, Snoop said following her performance. I'm trying to hold back the tears because you set yourself up for stardom, and I'm honored to have been your coach, he concluded. You pleased me tonight. Aaliyah, she did exactly what I wanted her to do, Snoop said in a confessional. The way she performed, she is definitely on that turntable as far as who's going to go with me. Never miss a story. Sign up for People's free daily newsletter to stay up to date on the best of what People has to offer, from celebrity news to compelling human interest stories. Despite her impressive rendition, Snoop cut Kalen from the playoff rounds, after previously stealing her from Team Michael Bublé in the battle rounds. She was holding her own, so I felt like she deserved to be with my team, because I can give her exactly what she needs, the rapper said when he took her onto her team in October. Snoop, who worked with guest mentor Biles, 27, this past week, ultimately chose Jeremy Beloit and Christina Eagle to stay on The Voice, who sang The Impossible Dream, My Quest, by Josh Groban and McIntyre's Fancy, respectively. He eliminated Austin Stansel and Michaela Aira. Team McIntyre's Edward Preble, KDO, and Lauren Michael Sellers were eliminated during last night's episode. Meanwhile, Adam Bohannon sang Chris Stapleton's Think I'm in Love with You, and Danny Joseph performed Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye for Team McIntyre, who received help from Lainey Wilson for coaching this round. It will also be advancing. In one of the most talked about moments on The Voice, a contestant's bold song choice proved to be too much, even for the most seasoned performers. Under the mentorship of none other than rap legend Snoop Dogg, the contestant attempted a rendition of what Snoop described as one of the hardest songs you could ever give somebody to sing. It was an ambitious choice, a moment that left the audience on the edge of their seats, but in the end, the performance just wasn't enough to secure a spot in the next round. Setting the scene. The bold choice, it's not every day that a song can turn into a make-or-break moment, but that's exactly what happened during this episode of The Voice. The contestant, a young aspiring singer with a distinctive vocal tone, had been one of the fan favorites leading up to this moment. Up until now, they had delivered a string of strong performances, often praised for their creativity and vocal control. But when Snoop Dogg, who had taken on the role of mentor for the show, handed them this particular song, everyone knew it was going to be a challenge. The song in question was a ballad notorious for its complex melody, wide vocal range, and the emotional depth required to really pull it off. In fact, over the years, only a few select artists had managed to truly own this song in live performances. Many believe that the contestant had the talent to rise to the occasion, but it would require a level of mastery that even seasoned professionals found difficult to achieve. Snoop, ever the enigmatic presence, encouraged the contestant to embrace the challenge. Known for his cool demeanor and sharp ear for talent, he didn't often dole out easy praise. But when he spoke about the contestant, it was clear that he saw something special in them, a rawness and a potential that could set them apart if they nailed this performance. The performance, a high-stakes moment the night of the performance arrived, and the tension was palpable. As the lights dimmed and the contestants stepped onto the stage, there was a noticeable hush in the crowd. The first notes of the song rang out, and immediately it was clear that the singer had decided to put their own spin on it. Rather than sticking closely to the original arrangement, they took creative liberties, altering the tempo slightly and adding subtle vocal flourishes that showcased their individual style. At first, it seemed like a risk that might pay off. The initial verses were delivered with precision and emotional intensity, drawing the audience in. Snoop, watching from the sidelines, nodded along, visibly impressed by the contestant's boldness. There was a sense that this could be one of those moments where a contestant transcends the competition and becomes a true artist in their own right. However, as the song progressed, the difficulties began to mount. The middle section of the song demanded a level of vocal control that stretched the contestant to their limits. There were moments where their voice faltered slightly, struggling to hit the song's notoriously difficult high notes. The emotional weight of the song also seemed to bear down on them, and while they had started strong, the pressure of the moment began to show. Despite the minor stumbles, the contestant powered through to the final chorus, delivering a finish that, while not flawless, was still commendable given the difficulty of the material. The crowd erupted in applause, appreciating the sheer ambition it took to tackle such a monumental song. But as the music faded and the lights dimmed, the question remained. Was it enough to convince Snoop Dogg and the other judges? Snoop's decision. A tough call when it came time for feedback, Snoop didn't mince words. He acknowledged just how difficult the song was, calling it one of the hardest songs you could ever give somebody to sing. He praised the contestants' bravery and creativity in making the song their own, but was also candid about the fact that it didn't quite hit the mark in some key areas. "You've got mad talent," Snoop said, looking the contestant straight in the eye. "But this song is a beast. And tonight, it got the better of you." There was a pause, the kind that makes time feel like it's stretching out forever. The contestant, visibly nervous, nodded in understanding. Snoop's tone was gentle, but the gravity of his words was clear. He wasn't criticizing the contestant's ability or potential, or rather, he was acknowledging the fact that sometimes even the most talented artists can be bested by the wrong song choice. "I'm gonna have to let you go," Snoop finally said, his voice heavy with the weight of the decision. The audience let out a collective gasp, surprised by the elimination of one of the show's standout performers. It was a difficult moment, not just for the contestant, but for Snoop as well. He had clearly developed a bond with the singer, rooting for them to succeed. But in the high-stakes world of The Voice, even a small misstep can cost you everything. Aftermath. The contestant's graceful exit. The contestant, though visibly disappointed, handled the elimination with grace. They thanked Snoop for his mentorship and the opportunity to perform on such a grand stage. "I took a risk," they said in their parting words. "And even though it didn't work out this time, I'm proud of myself for going for it." The elimination sparked a wave of reactions online, with many fans expressing shock and disappointment. Some praised the contestant for their ambition, while others debated whether the song choice had been too challenging from the start. But amidst the buzz, one thing was clear. This was a performance that would be remembered, not just for its outcome, but for the risks it embodied. Conclusion. The power of taking risks in the world of The Voice. Song choices can make or break a contestant. This elimination wasn't just about vocal performance, it was about the risks inherent in artistry. Snoop Dogg's decision to eliminate the contestant highlighted the reality that, while boldness is essential in music, it must also be balanced with execution. The contestant's journey may have ended here, but their willingness to take on one of the hardest songs you could ever give somebody to sing proved their potential as an artist willing to push boundaries, an invaluable trait in any musical career.